This morning, there's a new Vets for Freedom ad for John McCain that has just come out. Let's take a look at it, and then we'll get some reaction.
Some in Washington told us the war was lost.
Others said the surge would fail.
But while they argued,
we continued to fight. Today, even the harshest critics agree the surge worked.
the surge worked.
Al-Qaeda has been decimated.
And the Iraqi government grows stronger each day.
These are the facts.
They cannot be denied.
While some may not like this war,
Those who fought it,
No, we can't afford to lose.
We need to finish the job.
we need to finish the job.
No matter who is president.
There's the new ad. Joining us is Fox News political contributor Bill Kristol to discuss. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
How effective do you feel this ad will be for John McCain?
Well, it doesn't mention McCain, but I think it'll be effective in making the case that the surge worked and that the next president needs to finish the job, not withdrawing from Iraq ahead of victory in Iraq. And, you know, Obama's gone back and forth a little bit on this. It looked like he was changing his position a bit. Then, I think in his speech yesterday, he seems to have gone back to a pretty firm withdrawal plan. He wants to end the war, not win the war. I think that debate, if that becomes a debate, if people think John McCain will finish the job and win the war and Barack Obama will fritter away the hard-earned efforts of our servicemen and women over in Iraq, if he'll snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory, if that's the debate going into November, I think McCain wins.
Hey, Bill, Martha McCallum here. Good morning to you. You know, when you
Hi,
look
Martha.
at, he really is saying that, you know, within 16 months he wants to start a pullout. And that is 2 years shy of the most, you know, the closest timetable that the Iraqi government is asking for. Do you think that after he goes to Iraq, he'll get a clearer picture? I mean, has he left himself any room to sort of maneuver on this after he actually goes and is on the ground and hears what Petraeus has to say, as the president implored him to do in terms of listening?
Yeah, I mean, the same group that made this ad, Vets for Freedom, I think was the first to say, Senator Obama, go back to Iraq. You haven't been there since early 2006. Things have changed an awful lot. Your understanding of the surge is out of date. You thought it wasn't going to work. It has worked. It's surprising to me that he wrote his op-ed and gave his speech before going to Iraq. It's a little weird. Usually you go to the place and make your decisions, your judgments afterwards. But he is committed to withdrawing. He's committed to beginning that withdrawal as soon as he becomes president. He says over and over, I'm going to call in the Joint Chiefs of Staff and tell them, give me a plan to end the war. So, you know, I don't know how much wiggle room he's left himself. He thinks the war was a mistake, which is understandable, but he also is committed to, quote, ending the war, which I think is pretty amazing. I mean, no American president in history, to my knowledge, has called in the commanders when we were winning a war and said, give me a plan to get out of there, regardless of whether it endangers the victory or not.
Bill, I saw some of the liberal media last night saying that John McCain is essentially following Barack Obama and saying that they need to move soldiers to Afghanistan. That's not really the case here, because that's been talked about for quite some time, isn't it?
People in both parties have suggested that. I think both Obama and McCain are pretty close on that. I think there's a pretty good case for some more troops there. But at the end of the day, I think the Democrats very much want to have an Afghanistan debate, not an Iraq debate. Afghanistan's important. We can't lose there. We're not going to lose there. Right. But Iraq is much more central to the war on terror. It is at the center of the Middle East. Losing in Iraq would debilitate our efforts against al-Qaeda and radical jihadism everywhere. And you can't make up for losing in Iraq by sending a couple of extra brigades to Afghanistan.
You know, they're pretty close on the issue of Iraq in this latest Washington Post poll. Who would handle it better? It's like 47-45. You know, Barack Obama is clearly saying, you know, that he thinks this battle needs to be fought in Afghanistan. That will resonate with a lot of people, Bill. He'll say, you know, it never was in Iraq. This is where it's always been. This is where bin Laden is re-strengthening. That may be an argument that resonates with a lot of people.
It could be, but a couple of things, Martha. First of all, as you say, they're pretty close on Iraq. McCain's a little bit ahead, I think. On the economy, Obama's ahead by 20 points over McCain. So a commander-in-chief debate, an Iraq debate, is good for McCain, especially because in the last 2 years, when they had to make a real-time judgment of leadership on the surge, would it work or not? Was it a good idea to try to win in Iraq, or did we have to acknowledge defeat and get out of there? McCain said, let's try it. Obama voted against it. And I think the evidence now proves McCain was right. So I think an Iraq debate is good for McCain.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Bill Kristol in Washington. We're going to take a quick break.